undefeated right now, 13-4 overall on the season. But first, I'm going to give you the rundown of the visiting Oregon Ducks coming into the McKale Center in Tucson today in this pregame, as we have about like 8 to 9 minutes before tip-off here in Tucson, as I'll be doing play-by-play from the stream along with my live reactions today with the Oregon Ducks and the Arizona Wildcats. Let's get into the Oregon for this one. Freshman Louis King. If there has to be a factor tonight, it has to be Louis King if Oregon wants to turn around and save this season. And the Pac-12 title possibly wide open if Oregon can somehow get a W today. We'll see, as Louis King has been emerging as for the Oregon Ducks, and he's come in at the right time, as he was cleared to play back his first game of the season back on December 8th. So that was his first game of the season, as he got injured his senior year at high school. He went to Jersey City, Louis King, and then he was out for 9 months after high school, and then now he's just starting to make a comeback and has really transitioned and helped this Oregon Ducks team, as the past 3 games have really shown for Louis King out there. As we can see his stats, points per game on average the last 3 games, as we'll see the average Louis King has is 19.3 points per game he's averaging in those last 3 games. The past 3 games have been, one of them was a nail-biting loss to Oregon State on there, that they lost 77-72 as well, and they also lost at home a week ago to UCLA, as that one went into overtime. Oregon blew in a 9-point lead with 1:01 left in that game, and then they fouled one of the UCLA Bruins shooters when they were down 77-80. UCLA got to the line with around like 2.5 seconds left, and then UCLA on the free throw hit the first one to make it 78-80, but they needed to miss the second free throw in order to get back in the game, and that's what they did. And Oregon forgot to box out there, and UCLA with Chris Smith pulled up the offensive board, hit the shot at the buzzer off the glass to tie the game, and then UCLA went into overtime with Oregon, and they won it in OT 87-84. So 2 really close games in the conference so far for Oregon, and they couldn't pull it out. That's why they're 1-2 right now. And then Sunday was a major turnaround at home, going up against USC, and they demolished USC, beating them 81-60 at home. So definitely a turnaround, saying that this Oregon Ducks team has been plagued by injuries, with the presence of Bull not being there. Definitely, as Bull was their leading scorer going into December. He averaged 21 points per game, as now the leading scorer for the team has turned to Louis King now, the freshman who I'm talking about, and with those 19.3 points per game for average now, on the season he averages 11 points per game, and he also leads the team in rebounds right now with 5.7, as the rebounds have shown last 3 games. 9.3 rebounds for Louis King during that stretch with Oregon State, UCLA, and USC. And those past 3 games, shooting-wise, he's been 48% from the field shooting. From 3-point range, he's been 41%. As we can see, these numbers put up, if he wants to make an impact tonight, it's got to be the freshman, Louis King for Oregon. And I'll give you these numbers. So against Oregon State, King scored 17 points. He had his first ever double-double for the Ducks, 17 points, 10 boards. Followed it up against UCLA, 22 points, 10 boards in that one. And then USC dropped 19 points in the victory, first conference victory on Sunday for the Ducks. As we switch gears now, as we got a couple minutes to go before the start of the game, for the Arizona Wildcats at home today at Tucson at the McKale Center. Arizona right now is 13-4 overall, 4-0 in Pac-12 play, and they're also 9-1 right now at home, riding that 6-game winning streak of theirs. However, in the top 25, and there's no top 25 teams right now in the Pac-12, as they've really been underwhelming this season, as Arizona has been 0-2 against top 25 teams, as they lost Actually, both of the games they didn't even come close to beating. They lost against number 5 Gonzaga 91-74, and they lost to number 14 Auburn as well. As we look at Oregon, their 6-game win streak, and at home, how about this? A 91-4 record at the McKale Center, dating back to the beginning of the 2013-2014 season, and their record, they're trying to improve to 10-1 tonight. We'll see what happens during this Arizona-Oregon showdown in Tucson. As Arizona, shooting-wise, they've been hot from the field as of late, converting on 31 of the 35 past free throws from the line in those last 2 games. And those last 2 games were against Stanford and Cal, both victories for the Wildcats in there, as they beat Stanford 75-70, and they beat California. They beat them by a lot, 87-65. As you take note of this, the Pac-12 has 0 teams in the top 25. And we'll look at some of the key players for Arizona, as they've got a trio of guards out there tonight that could pose a problem. Brandon Randolph, Brandon Williams, and Justin Coleman out there. As those 3 combined, Randolph, Williams, and Coleman, they shot 13 for 20 from 3-point range in those last 2 games combined against Stanford and California. What to watch out for tonight? Well, senior Justin Coleman, he only needs 5 more points to reach 1,000 in his Wildcat career. We'll see what happens with that tonight if Justin Coleman can get there. Coleman, on average, is averaging 9.2 points per game. He's 81% shooting from the line this season. From 3-point range, he is 41.2%. As the 5'10 guard, the senior leader from Birmingham, Alabama, trying to get 5 points tonight to reach 1,000. And his goal, I bet you, is to go way over those 5 points tonight. Not only 5 to reach 1,000, but much more in this one, in this Arizona-Oregon pregame here, as we're almost ready for the tip-off. Got a couple more minutes left till 9 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone. As you've been listening to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and what my channel is about is that I'll be streaming my play-by-play and live reactions of games throughout the season, as well as into the conference tournaments, as well as March Madness. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, as I'll be on the call for these games, provide you guys with some excitement, and I'll get you guys going. As looks like we're on right now, as the stream just started here with Oregon, Arizona, as here's the Wildcats coming out of the tunnel. And we got a great game for you guys. Pac-12 on its way between the 13-4 Arizona Wildcats and the Oregon Ducks, sitting at 10-6 on the season. As we look at the key players to watch out for, definitely Brandon Williams of Arizona, the freshman guard, averaging 11.5 points per game, is a 78.5 free throw percent shooter out there. But also Chase Jeter, the center for Arizona, having a year, as he's 3rd in the Pac-12 right now in field goal percentage with 64.3% shooting. And let's turn the page to the Oregon Ducks, as Peyton Pritchard, the point guard, is 5th right now in the Pac-12 for assists per game. He has an average of 4.6 assists per game. And, of course, what I talked about earlier, Louis King, shooting and shooting and shooting and converting on everything as of late, as he's recorded the past 2 out of 3 games. He's had 2 double-doubles in that time, as he's an 80% free throw shooter. And the past couple of games for Oregon, Louis King has come on strong with that average I pointed out earlier, 19.3 points per game for the last 3 games against Oregon State, UCLA, and USC. Big win Oregon's coming off against USC. As well as those rebounds, it shows for Louis King 9.3 rebounds in the past 3 games, 48% shooting from the field and a 41% three-point shooting as well from behind the arc during those past 3 Pac-12 games on the season. So against the top 25, Arizona is 0-2. They lost to Gonzaga and they lost to Auburn. For Oregon, it's been the other way around. Their best win on the season, and this is with Bol Bol was on the team, and they were 1-0 against the top 25 as they beat Syracuse by 15. And Bol Bol, the leading scorer of that game, dropped 26, that game against the Orange, as that's been a huge loss to them. Bol Bol was projected to be a top 5 draft pick. Huge loss in that. And then Abu Kigab, he transferred from Oregon to Boise State. Also, Kenny Wooten on Oregon. He suffered a broken jaw against Baylor back on December 21st, and he just hasn't played since. So we'll see. I'm not sure if Wooten's in the lineup, but we'll see about that today. As far as the bubble goes for this, Arizona's one of 2 Pac-12 teams, very, very slim right now in the Pac-12 is who they've got on the bubble, as Arizona is just one of 2 Pac-12 teams that's projected in the latest ESPN bracketology report, as Arizona is projected to be an 11 seed in that latest. So they're like right ahead of the bubble. And the other Pac-12 team is the Washington Huskies in there, as well as Washington right now has a record of 12-4, and they're 3-0 in the Pac-10 as they're ranked as a 10 seed in bracketology. And we're almost to tip off here, so let's give you a rundown of the coaches. Arizona Wildcats playing at home with a head coach, Sean Miller, in his 10th season at Arizona. Overall, he's won 76.9% of his games, good for a record of 260 and 78 overall. He's got 7 NCAA tournament appearances with 5 regular season Pac-12 titles and 3 Pac-12 tournament titles as well back in 2015, 2017, and 2018, as last year didn't have great luck in the tournament at all, as they were the number 4 seed and they got shocked against Buffalo. But we got to talk about Buffalo. What a great season. They've had only 1 loss. I know they play in the MAC, but the Buffalo Bulls right now rank 16th overall with a 16-1 record on the season, doing something special. As far as the Oregon Ducks says, their head coach Dana Altman in his 9th season at Oregon with a record of 220 and 89, good for 71.2% winning percentage right now, as he has 5 tournament appearances, 1 Final Four back in 2017. That was with Dylan Brooks, and 2 Pac-12 tournament titles. As this one is underway, as the tip goes off, Ryan Luther gets the tip for Arizona. Arizona driving from right to left in their white jerseys with dark blue and red. And now they're taking it left wing 3. That one goes down for Justin Coleman to start off this game. He had 28 points in the loss to Gonzaga earlier in the season, but what a great way to start off for the Wildcats. 3-0 as Oregon has the ball at the free throw line. This is Victor Bailey Jr. still tied up at the free throw line. Passes it out to Paul White at the right wing. Passes it now top of the key, and now to the right wing. Lewis King from the elbow deep in. He hits it. So Lewis King continuing that scoring run in his 3-2 Zona as Oregon pulls within 1. Ball past the timeline. Here's Brandon Randolph. Passes it off as we got passing around the perimeter. Brandon Williams back to Randolph. And to the left corner baseline driving Ryan Luther. But looks like he stepped out of bounds, turned the ball over. So go back to Oregon here with 18:59 left in the first. As far as the Ducks, here we go. Peyton Pritchard taking it past the timeline, passes off to Lewis King. Passing around the perimeter right now for the Ducks. And now trying to drive inside. This is Paul White. Paul White trying to lean in. No good, as The ball is tipped up in the air. Brandon Williams has the defensive board for Zona. Williams trying to go into the lane, try to lay it up off the backboard, but the rebounded slam right there by the center, Chase Jeter, to put it through. Oregon trying to go the other way. Couldn't get it as the ball was the last touched out of bounds as Oregon tried to drive in the lane. But a second ago, Brandon Williams driving inside for the Wildcats. Couldn't get it off the backboard, but the center, Chase Jeter, puts it through. Oregon shot deep from the baseline, deep two, and that one goes down for Oregon. So it's 5-4 with 18-14 left in the first. Past the timeline, Brandon Randolph gets it away. This is Williams now passing it, trying to go inside to the low key, and it's off the mark. No good by Chase Jeter, and rebound going up the other way by the Ducks. 17:55 left in the first. Top of the key for Peyton Pritchard. Passes it off to Paul White. And now right corner back to Pritchard. And keeping it, Victor Bailey Jr. trying to shoot it inside. Kicks it back outside. Deep three from the left wing. And it's no good. Rebound by the Wildcats. Past the timeline. Brandon Williams. Corner three from the right. And it's off the mark by Williams. Rebound by Ryan Luther. Puts it home off the glass is Ryan Luther, and it's 7-4 Arizona. As Oregon has the ball, 17:20 left in the first. It's Pritchard who passes it left wing now. That was to Lewis King and passes it back to Pritchard. Pritchard at the right wing. And now trying to feed the ball inside. In the key is Francis Okoro, who spins, trying to get it. And could not get it to fall. Arizona had it for a second, couldn't get it. Free throw jumper, it goes down at the free throw line for Peyton Pritchard of Oregon. And it's 7-6 with 16:50 left as Arizona's pushing it from the left wing. This is Brandon Randolph now passes it to the top of the key, trying to drive inside, kicks it back outside left corner three. No good by Ryan Luther, and rebound by the Ducks. Peyton Pritchard with it at the right wing. This is Lewis King with Pritchard now, who has it, and Pritchard trying to drive inside at the free throw line, kicks it back out. And now in the low post. Trying to go inside off the window, Paul White, but he's fouled on the play. So first foul picked up by the Wildcats here with 16:24 left in the first, as we see Dana Altman, head coach of the Oregon Ducks, with a record of 220 wins, 89 losses, as Oregon will inbound it. 16:24 left. As the pass goes to Paul White, corner three, no good by Pritchard, rebounded by Williams for Arizona. And here we go, top of the key three, almost went for it, was Williams, but passing it around the perimeter now to the left. And now back to the top of the key, and now to the right wing. This is Justin Coleman. Justin Coleman to the top of the key, driving, kicks it back outside. Shot for three off the front rim, and no. That was Ryan Luther, missed the three, and here's Oregon in transition. Pritchard trying to get it off the glass, couldn't, but got help right there. And it goes off the window, and it goes home for Oregon, who takes their first lead of the game. I think that was Okoro who put it off the glass for the Ducks. Arizona has it at the right wing. Now to the top of the key. This is Brandon Randolph, who hands it off to Justin Coleman now. Left wing, Coleman dribbling. 11 on the shot clock. Oh, tried to throw the alley-oop up to Chase Jeter, and it went off the rim, and miscue right there. Oregon has it. Right corner now, passes it to the right wing. Peyton Pritchard with the ball. 15-16. Lewis King, to make note, was the number 11 recruit back in 2018 in the ESPN Top 100 Class of the Year. Trying to go inside, feeds it into Okoro, try to go for the slam dunk, but couldn't get it. Arizona now with a rebound. 8-7, Oregon up by 1. Trying to drive baseline, kicks it out for the Wildcats. They have the ball left corner three, but looks like we have a foul called on the Ducks on that one before the shot. So when we get back, we got ourselves a ball game. Oregon 8, Arizona 7, with this Pac-12 matchup just getting started here. And you're listening to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. I'm just going to post that score. So yeah, pretty good game so far for both teams. I'm just going to dig into some stats right here and see what's going on for both sides as we got ourselves a pretty good ball game so far. I know Lewis King put in a lot of points in this one early on. I'm going to see. Okay, so I got the box score up with the game cast. So yeah, so the last play was a foul by Paul White. As far as, let's see. I'm going to pull up some team stats and see how we do. And Oregon stats as well. So yeah, I got some team stats. So yeah, we got the leaders for both teams. So Lewis King has 4 points right now for the Ducks. He is 2 for 3 shooting, and Justin Coleman looks like he has 3 points for the Wildcats. Right now is both teams pretty even in the rebounding department, 6 against 6 for both of those. Team fouls 1 against 1. As well as shooting from the floor, Oregon's shooting 4 for 11 right now, as Arizona is shooting 4 for 9 from 3 points. Oregon is 0 for 2 from behind the arc. Arizona's 2 for 5 right now. And it looks like we're basically back. So yeah, so pretty good game so far. So that's good. And it looks like we're back as Arizona has it. Back to play. So it's Brandon Williams who has it, trying to drive in. Throws the ball to the left corner to Dylan Smith and back to Williams at the left wing. Takes a deep 3 and hits it for Brandon Williams. 78.5 from behind the line. He has 11.5 points per game on average. He hit a deep 3 right there from 23 feet to take back the lead for Zona. It's 10-8. Oregon has the ball right now. Throwing it to the left corner now, trying to go to the low post. Trying to hit the jumper in the low post, and it floats in by Kenny Wooten, who's back from injury as he had a neck injury, and glad to have him back for the Oregon Ducks as he could definitely give him a boost as there's bodies on the floor with a ball on the ground. Oregon finally gets it. Pritchard throws it over to Lewis King, but he got rejected, but Oregon gets the ball back, and now it's Pritchard sets up the offense, and here is Lewis King with it right wing as he throws it back to Pritchard to set it up with 13 on the shot clock, 13:43 left in the first. As this is Will Richardson and the bench trying to as this Paul White tried to take a 3 from deep, no good. Rebound by Arizona. Tied up at 10 here with 13:26 left in the first. Top of the key now, Dylan Smith dribbling out, and now it's Alex Barcelo in the game for the Wildcat. Williams now at the left wing with it, tried to throw the ball inside. Oregon tried to steal it, but Ira Lee came down with it for the Wildcats. 6 on the shot clock, trying to drive in the lane. And it was laid up and in, looks like by Dylan Smith. Wasn't sure if there was a travel on it, but the refs will call it good. And Smith got fouled as well, so he'll go to the line for 1. So if you're joining us, the Arizona Wildcats are leading this one in a pretty good game so far. Back and forth, 12-10 right now with 13:07 left in the first. As Dylan Smith just got fouled inside, as that was the second team foul by the Ducks. So Smith will go to the line for 1. Here's Smith as it goes off the back of the iron. No good. And rebound by the Ducks, taking it up past the timeline with 13:01 left. Peyton Pritchard does that. He passes off to Will Richardson. Now we got passing around the perimeter as that was Miles Norris who gives it back to Pritchard as he has Richardson at the right wing. Back to Pritchard. Pritchard with 10. Pritchard at the left wing. Pritchard trying to dribble baseline, chucks it all the way cross court to Lewis King. Lewis King inside the lane trying to do the spin move, passes it off with 1 on the shot clock, goes off the front rim. No good by Kenny Wooten coming back from injury. Arizona has the rebound in the left corner. This is Brandon Williams. Now we got passing around the perimeter at the right side of the perimeter. Justin Coleman who passes it to the right wing. Looks like Alex Barcelo to the top of the key now. Brandon Randolph as we get dribbling around the perimeter. 8 on the shot clock. Deep 3. No good off the front rim by Justin Coleman. Rebounded by Kenny Wooten. Now Richardson at the right wing takes it to Pritchard. Pritchard feeds it off. And now it's Kenny Wooten at the free throw line. Back to Richardson. Richardson trying to go low to Wooten. Wooten trying to go inside, and he's fouled as well with 11:53 left in the first as Kenny Wooten will go to the line for 2. Arizona, if you're joining us, is up 12-10 in this game so far. So both teams, if you're joining us, have 2 team fouls. Right now we got 11:53 left in the first as there's a timeout on the floor with the foul prior to it. So Arizona is leading this one 12-10, and I'll post right now as we got ourselves a TV timeout. We got 11:53 left in the first, and Arizona is holding to that 2-point lead right now. Pretty great contest for both squads. Back and forth and back and forth. I'll take a look at the scoring leaders right now for both of the teams as Lewis King is leading the scoring for Oregon. 2 for 4 right now shooting the ball, and he's also got a rebound as well. As coming off the bench, Kenny Wooten has 2 points. Glad to see that he's back from injury. As for Arizona, they have a combination of points as Brandon Williams is the leading scorer right now with 3 points, as there's a couple guys with 2 as Ryan Luther, Chase Jeter, and coming off the bench is Dylan Smith. He also has 2 points for the team as well. So we're still in commercial break here. I'll give you some statistics here. So shooting the ball, Oregon right now, both of the teams have made 5 shots from the field. Oregon's 5 for 15 right now shooting the ball, good for 33.3%, as Arizona is shooting 45.5% from the field. They're 5 for 11, and as Oregon, they haven't made a 3-pointer yet in this game, 0 for 3 right now. Arizona's seen 2 3-point shots go down so far in this game. Also, the rebound department pretty much even compared to both of the teams. Oregon up 9-8 right now on team fouls. It's tied at 2-2. As we're back here on the TV screen, we're back at the McKale Center in Tucson as the Ducks, and this is as Oregon will go to the line. This is Kenny Wooten coming back from injury. The first free throw he misses for Wooten. Glad to see him back for Oregon. 11:53 left in the first. Missed his first one. Here's the second one for Wooten, and he's got it. Arizona 12, Oregon 11 here in Tucson. So now they inbound it. So Arizona gets it past the timeline. This looks to be Dylan Smith who passes it now to the left wing. Brandon Randolph driving with the ball. Randolph trying to go inside, trying to float it over the top, couldn't get it, and Oregon, without stepping out of bounds, gets the defensive board, takes it past the timelines of Lewis King. He passes it to Peyton Pritchard, who feeds it inside. This is Wooten. Wooten down at the low post, trying to spin and jump over and try to get the offensive board was Miles Norris for Oregon, but couldn't. Arizona gets the defensive board, and now they're trying to take it into their zone. Coleman, who feeds out to Smith. Smith at the right wing, and now going low post now, trying to dribble baseline and gets it underneath What a shot for Chase Jeter. Third in the Pac-12 for shooting percentage, and it's 11-14. Arizona up by 3 as Oregon has the ball now. At the right corner for the Ducks, and now trying to feed it inside at the elbow and trying to dribble inside as the ball was almost stolen from Miles Norris. Deep 3, and no good by Lewis King, and rebound by the Wildcats with 10:40 left in the first. This is Justin Coleman who feeds it deep 3 from the right wing, and it goes out of bounds as Dylan Smith's 3 could not connect and hits the left of the iron and goes out towards the front row seats. As Oregon will inbound the ball. That was Brandon Randolph who Miles Norris who inbounds it to Will Richardson of the Ducks. This is Richardson now driving at the perimeter. Now left corner 3, no good. It's off the mark by Ihab Amin in the game off the bench for the Ducks as it goes the other way for the Wildcats. As this is Chase Jeter now in the low post. Jeter try to throw a ball like behind his back, and he just turned it over to Oregon. Oregon now in transition as the right corner 3, and it cannot connect by Victor Bailey Jr. However, the offensive board thrown back into the right corner by Bailey. Now Bailey trying to drive inside, reverse hand layup, but he couldn't get it. Rebound Wildcats. Taking past the timeline, Brandon Williams, who passes off to Brandon Randolph. Now gets it at the right wing. Now in the game is Devonair Dutrieve. First time today off the bench. Trying to feed it inside to Jeter. Jeter guarded by 4 players. He could not get it to fall, but he gets that tip in for Arizona at 16-11. Chase Jeter using some magic right there to get the tip in next to 4 Duck defenders in black and neon yellow jerseys to get the ball in the bucket. 16-11 Arizona. 9:06 left in the first. It's Will Richardson now at the right wing. Richardson dribbling, trying to take it inside, and he goes as he goes past the defender and hits it off the backboard. 16-13. Brandon Williams with the inbounds for Zona. Gets it over the timeline. This is Ira Lee who gets stripped of the ball, going the other way. Ihab Amin in transition, 2-on-2. Throws it back, left wing 3, no good. It cannot connect for the Ducks. And that's a rebound for Randolph, Oregon, who slings it back to the outside to Devonair, who was trying to look to drive, but he takes it wisely back outside. Brandon Williams has it. Williams at the top of the key. Williams trying to throw the alley-oop to Jeter, and no. Stolen in the lane. Here we go on the other way. Oregon trying to convert, and no. Too strong off the rim, off the backboard by Ihab Amin. Hour stolen by Amin. Corner 3, non-contested, and it goes down for Victor Bailey Jr. to tie this game up at 16 with 8:07 left in this Pac-12 contest. Timeout on the floor by Arizona, and what a game we have so far off the steal right there. We'll be back. Wow, what a game so far. So we got 8:01 left in the first after the 3. That was by Ihab Amin, who's coming off the bench for Oregon. Okay, let's get these stat totals up here. All right, now, Victor Bailey Jr. actually hit that one. Yep, from 3. So, yeah, he just connected from 3, and that looks like it's, Oregon's 1 for 8 right now, shooting the 3. And that was the first 3 ball that went down for the Ducks. Let's see from the other side. Chase Jeter, leading scorer right now for Arizona. He has 6. He also has 4 boards. There was one of the plays where Arizona tried to get like the alley-oop pass over to Jeter, but yeah, they just couldn't connect on that, and it was stolen away when Chase tried to hang on to the rim right there. But as far as shooting, Arizona right now, as well as shooting percentage, they're just winning in that aspect by quite a bit. But we're still early on in this game. Oregon's shooting 7 for 24 right now, and Arizona's shooting 7 for 16. Let's see what else we got. As far as the rebounds, Arizona has more rebounds. Jeter has 4 already. Arizona has 15 rebounds. Oregon is 12. Oregon, though, has 4 steals. That could be a key. Oh, turnovers. Here's a big one. So Arizona's turned the ball over 7 times. You know how many times Oregon's turned the ball over in this game? 0. Yeah, 0. So that's definitely definitely a key statistic right now to this game, is that Oregon hasn't yet to turn over the ball. We'll see how long that lasts, but Arizona's turned over the ball 7 times right now. And looks like we're back on the stream, and update you guys with the time. So they reset the clock back. Okay, so we got not 8:01 left in the first, so they reset the clock back. It's 8:07 left in the first. 16-16 game, and Arizona will inbound it. And it's Dutrieve who passes the ball off, and they finally get past the timeline for the Wildcats. This is Dylan Smith, who had it now in the hands of Dutrieve, and he gets it back to Brandon Williams. Back to Dutrieve now at the top of the key, and here's Brandon Randolph from deep. They've turned the ball over 7 times. Oregon's turned the ball over none. Brandon Williams now feeds it over, tried to go inside to Jeter. Jeter guarded by 2 defenders, and the ball rims out. However, Jeter picks up the board, but he's stuffed trying to go inside, and you got yourself a tie-up right there. And Oregon on the bench is celebrating because it's their possession of the ball, as the tie-up between Jeter on the rebound right here after the ball gets swatted away. We'll see what happens as Chase Jeter tried to go inside. And then the ball got swatted away, and then there was a tie-up for a possession arrow. Oregon gets it back with 7:28 left in the first. So the Ducks have it. It's Ihab Amin now trying to drive in the key, and he kicks it back outside to Victor Bailey Jr. He gets it to Richardson, who now throws it to Lewis King. Lewis King at the top of the key looking for Amin, and Amin trying to drive inside. Amin looking outside, kicks it back to Bailey Jr. from the outside right wing, and another one goes down. Victor Bailey Jr. hits his second 3-pointer of the night, and Oregon takes back the lead. 19-16 Ducks, 6:55 left, and they've got themselves an 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds of play. So Arizona has the ball. This is Justin Coleman trying to drive baseline. Coleman turns it over. Looks like they get the double dribble there. Sean Miller is furious. That's the 8th turnover by the Wildcats tonight. Oregon has none. 6:42 left in the first as Oregon inbounds it. It's Will Richardson with the ball past the timeline. This is Victor Bailey Jr. and passes it off to Lewis King. To the top of the key now. This is Bailey Jr. Hit 2 threes already. Trying to go off the glass, and he gets it. Hits it home right there. Victor Bailey Jr. off the window to put Oregon to their biggest lead of the game so far today. 21-16. 6:16 left in the first. Arizona with it now. At the top of the key, this is Devonair trying to drive inside. Almost stripped in the lane, but this swatted away. Coro with a block going up the other way for the Ducks. As Amin, top of the key 3, almost had it, rained out. Rebound, and is tipped all the way to Brandon Williams on a 1-on-1. Williams pops inside, couldn't get it to fall. No foul called. Rebounded, but looks like there's a shooting foul as Ryan Luther tried to hit that one home inside for the Wildcats right there, as we got ourselves a ball game. Oregon up 21-16 with 5:50 left in the first. As we have some people joining us right now on the stream, I'd like to say this is my first time ever streaming, and I'll be doing this throughout the season. This is called Behind the Arc Basketball, where I'll be streaming March Madness games throughout college basketball games throughout the season, then into the conference tournament, and then all the way into March Madness, as now we had a shot from the free throw line, and the first one went down for the Wildcats. And here's the second shot, and that one goes in too. So that's Ryan Luther, who hits them both. It's 21-18. Oregon's taking up the ball past the core. We got 5:45 left in the first. This is Pritchard, who hands it off to Lewis King. Gets it back to Victor Bailey Jr. now, and it's Ihab Amin with it, trying to go inside of the free throw line. Nice. Oh, and he's rejected inside as tried to drive for it. It was Bailey in there, but he couldn't get it. And Arizona gets the ball back. Right wing three. Oh, off the rim, no good by Justin Coleman. A rebound by Oregon. Lewis King takes it back past the timeline here. Tries to dribble baseline. King kicks it out and passing around the perimeter at the right corner. Oh, nice behind the back dribble by Victor Bailey Jr. Kicks it out to the left wing, and the three ball goes down off the bench for Ihab Amin with 5 minutes left in the first, and it's 24-18 Ducks. As Arizona gets it past the timeline, Amin is the senior from Alexandria, Egypt, who just hit that one. Brandon Williams trying to go inside. This is Jeter now with two Ducks defenders. Fed it inside as looks like we got a foul on the play. Beautiful feed of a pass right there by Oregon. I believe it was Victor Bailey Jr. who hit it out to the outside to Ihab Amin, who hit it home right there. And on the screen for the graphic that they just loaded up on ESPN, it says like Egyptian Pharaoh or something like that. As Ihab Amin's actually from Alexandria, Egypt, as Arizona gets the inbounds. A deep three, no good. However, tried to go for the offensive board there. Couldn't get the ball back, but looks like it was out of bounds. The last touch by Oregon. So in the rebounds department, Arizona is beating Oregon in that department, 21-18. I know the turnover department, Sean Miller isn't too happy of, as Arizona gets the inbound. 4:32 left in the first. Corner three from deep, Brandon Randolph, and he misses, rebounded by Wooten of the Ducks. Going up the other way. Trying to feed the ball inside. This is Paul White. Paul White trying to dribble in the key and kicks it back out to Victor Bailey Jr. And another one top of the key three. Paul White. And he gets it for the Ducks. The largest lead in the night, and they're on a 16-2 run with the last 5 minutes in play or so, as they got themselves a 9-point lead here. Oregon's up 27-18. Now it's Brandon Randolph. Randolph trying to take it inside, pass the defender, and it's swatted away by Wooten, but they'll call a goaltend, I believe, on it. As we'll see, there's a timeout on the floor, but a second ago, beautiful three-pointer by Ihab Amin, followed up by another one from the top of the key for the 16-2 run by Oregon. Paul White hit that top of the key three a couple minutes ago. As Oregon's in control here, we'll check the scoreboard to see if that was a goaltend or a block or a shooting foul on it. So, yeah, it looks like the scoreboard is only 27-18, so they didn't call that so far. Interesting. You see, as far as the team scores right now, shooting wise, oh wow, so Arizona's shooting percentage has come down, like really down. How far it's come down? 29.2% shooting, as they've gone basically cold shooting wise, as Oregon's 36.7% now. So early in the earlier in the game, it was Arizona who was shooting the ball pretty well. I think they had like 45% early on in the first 5 minutes. Now they're like 29.2%. From the three-point line, Victor Bailey Jr. has got a couple down for them. Yeah, so Bailey is 3 for 8 shooting. He's got 8 points. He's hit 2 threes. Jeter right now is the leading scorer for Arizona. He has 6 points. As from the three-point line, Arizona is 2 for 10. Oregon is 4 for 12 right now. See what other stats I can dig into. Lewis King with 4 points. Pat White with 5 points for the Ducks. Coming off the bench, yeah, Oregon off the bench is 8 points as well between Wooten, Amin, and Richardson. For bench points for Arizona, they only have 2 coming off the bench. Chase Jeter leading the team for Arizona, and then it looks like Ryan Luther is in there with 4 points. Jeter has 5 boards in there as well. So looks like we're back to action here in Tucson as Oregon's got themselves on quite a run here with a 16-2 run, to be exact, in about the last 5.5 minutes in this game or so. So looks like Arizona will get the inbound here. Wondering beforehand if it was a foul or not. It seems like it was a foul, so it wasn't a goal. They didn't call it a goaltend, surprisingly. So it was a foul before the shot, I guess, as the ball gets inbounded. And here we go. This is Brandon Randolph. Back to the right wing. This is Dylan Smith, who passes it off to Ira Lee. Now back to Smith. And Jeter trying to swing it outside. And Justin Coleman tries to drive inside. And oh, man, there's a rejection on the play, but the foul is called. Kenny Wooten got a big block on that one for the Ducks with 3:36 left. But looks like Oregon picks up their 6th team foul right there, charged inside. And looks like it's by Paul White, number 13 of the Ducks, the senior from Chicago. And in that case, it was a shooting foul. Arizona will go to the line. First one hits for Ira Lee from the line for Arizona. He's 82.6% from the free throw line this season. Ira's second one, it goes down, and it's a 7-point game for the Ducks, 27-20, as the inbound goes to Pritchard with 3:33 left in the first. Pritchard takes it past the timeline. Pritchard almost stole him right there as he passed it off to Amin, and he goes back to Pritchard with 16 on the shot clock. Pritchard passes out left wing. Lewis King with it. He's got 10 on the shot clock. Feeds Pritchard here with the ball. Pritchard trying to drive right corner with it. Was Will Richardson with the ball, but looks like there's a charge on the play. Or we'll see. Is it picked up by Richardson or not? As Richardson was trying to drive baseline inside with 3:05 left in the first. And looks like the refs know they will not call a charge as Dylan Smith went down on the ground right there for the Wildcats. But looks like Oregon will get the ball in the inbound. So let's see. So Richardson was driving inside the baseline right there, trying to go inside. And the refs are discussing about that, whether it's a foul or not. They'll go to the monitors to see. As if you're just joining us, it's Oregon up by 6 right now. And it's in Tucson, as Arizona is 9-1 at home this season, as the Oregon Ducks are up 26-20 with 3:05 left in the first. The refs at the monitor right now talking about Will Richardson, the freshman from Hinesville, Georgia, as he was driving baseline from the right corner from the 3-point lane and driving inside as he hit Dylan Smith, as Dylan Smith hit the floor trying to take the charge, but couldn't, as the inbounds pass right there by Richardson was swatted away out of bounds by Smith. So it's knocked out of bounds by Arizona. So 3:10 left, and Oregon will inbound it again. Their own side. So looking for somebody's Richardson, and he shoots it all the way to behind the arc at the top of the key. And finally, Peyton Pritchard, the ball's in his hands, and now he gets it off to Richardson now, who is now trying to drive inside with a spin move and fighting for the ball as there's bodies on the ground, but Wooten looks like he had the ball right there. As there are multiple bodies of different jerseys trying to fight for the ball right there at the left elbow, deep inside the left elbow of the court, as we got ourselves a game here. Oregon up 26-20 against Arizona with 2:55 left in the first if you're just joining us. And what a game so far, as Oregon was on a 16-2 run before Arizona just hit 2 free throws just a minute ago. As Oregon gets the inbounds, is Peyton Pritchard with it with 2:48 left in the first. Pritchard feeds the ball now to Lewis King, who has it, trying to drive at the free throw line. This is Kenny Wooten, who feeds it back outside to Richardson, and thought about the three was Ehab Amin, faked him out and trying to go to the right elbow, and he turns the ball over by a travel. So Arizona will get the ball back with 2:34 left in the first, down by 6, trying to make something happen here before the half, as that marks the first turnover of the game by the Ducks. 8 turnovers by Arizona. They finally get it past the timeline. This is Devonair Dutrieve, who was double teamed, as Oregon's picking up this double team defense right now with 2:18 left in the first. In the hands of Arizona, it is Justin Coleman now at the left wing trying to drive, feeds it out. That's to Ryan Luther, and now trying to drive inside and gets rejected. Was Dylan Smith going up the other way for the Ducks, trying to drive Lewis King in the lane, and he stripped of the ball, but Oregon will get it back with 2:02 left in the first. What a block right there, trying to go into the lane. It was, oh man, what an impact Kenny Wooten is making out of this game for the Ducks so far. And this one swats that ball away, goes back the other way, and tried to drive inside with Lewis King, but the ball was stripped. But still, Oregon gets the ball back. Kenny Wooten got his 112th career block right there for the Ducks. They're up by 6, 1:55 left in the first. As this is Peyton Pritchard now with the right elbow, feeds it back outside. This is Lewis King. He needs to make an impact tonight. He averages around 19.3 points per game in his last 3 games, as that shot looks like it goes down. As the refs discuss this one to see if there was a foul by the Wildcats. And we'll see if it was before the shot. No, so the shot did go down. Refs don't count it, though. Brandon Randolph picks up his second foul for Arizona. Ball goes off the rim and rebounded by Jeter of Arizona. It goes past the timeline. Justin Coleman feeds it back outside, left wing for Dylan Smith. And here we go, right wing shot by Brandon Williams. It goes off the mark for the Wildcats. Rebound Oregon. As this Peyton Pritchard takes it past the timeline with 1:20 at the free throw line and shoots it back outside to Richardson and back to Pritchard. Pritchard with it, dribbling and passing outside now to the left outside as Richardson almost lost control of the ball. Back to Pritchard. As Pritchard has it at the Arizona logo, and he spins trying to drive inside. He turns it over. Second turnover for Oregon. Going the other way, Arizona, and it looks like it was rejected by Wooten. But let's see what they call. They'll call a goaltend by Wooten right there. Coming back from injury, Kerry Wooten for the Ducks, and they'll call a goaltend on the play for Oregon. In transition was Arizona. Tried to lay it up and in. Brandon Williams, and just swatted it off the glass was Kenny Wooten of Oregon. So it's 26-22. Okay, so they call a goaltend, and it looks like he was fouled in the process. Yeah, as we got this on the monitor. So they called a basket as Oregon's up 26-22, 57.2 seconds left in the first. Oregon picked up their 7th foul as a team. Arizona has 5. To the line, this is Brandon Williams. He's got 5 points. 78.5% from the line, and he hits it. Arizona down by 3. They were down by 9 earlier. They've climbed back. Oregon takes it. Pritchard takes it past the timeline with 48 seconds left. Pritchard passes it off. This is Victor Bailey Jr., who has it at the Arizona logo. Passes it to the right wing to Pritchard, back to Bailey. 10 on the shot clock, and this is Richardson with it now. As he's dribbling, he's got 5 on the shot clock. As he tries to drive inside, passes it left corner 3, and it goes down. Victor Bailey Jr. hits the 3 again for the Ducks, and he's got 10. He's 2 for 4 from behind the arc, and that's the 4th straight game he's got with 10 or more points. Up by 6 now for Oregon. 10 seconds left. Trying to call out their last play before the half is Arizona. Trying to drive inside. Justin Coleman. He's stripped away. Here we go the other way for Oregon. Pritchard off the glass and in at the buzzer, and it expires. And that's how the half ends, with the Oregon Ducks up 31-23 at the half, as that last play was a steal by Peyton Pritchard, as Arizona was stripped of the ball right there. Brandon Randolph tried to take it up the lane for the Wildcats. Pritchard stripped him in the lane. Pritchard goes alone to the rim and finishes it off, and they got themselves a lead before the half. And as I check, it's an 8-point lead. As we go to halftime here on Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, it's Oregon not playing at home, and they have a lead of their own, up 31-23 against the Arizona Wildcats, who's 9-1 on the season at home. We'll see what happens in the second half. Stay tuned. So we got ourselves like a halftime break right now. So just to update, Oregon's up 31 to Arizona's 23. Halftime. And yeah, what a game we got so far. Let's get these leading scorers in here for both squads. Victor Bailey Jr. is leading the Ducks right now, as he's got 10 points. He's shooting 500 right now, or 50%, from the three-point line, as he's 2 for 4 right now, and totaling his shots, he's 4 for 9. Shooting the ball right now, as we got the other top scorers, we have Paul White in for the Ducks, the second leading scorer right now for Oregon at the half with 5 points. Lewis King only has 4 points right now, as the past 3 days, King has been racking up those points. Had 17 in the first conference game against Oregon State, followed by a spectacular 22-point performance against UCLA, and then USC and 19 points. Let's see what else. As Peyton Pritchard just got his 4th point before the half. You got the stolen ball, put that one back up at the buzzer. Oregon has 5 steals in this game. On the other side for Arizona, looks like Chase Jeter still leads the team with 6 points. Ryan Luther with 4. Actually, it's Chase Jeter and Brandon Williams who is leading the scoring right now. Both of them are got 6 points. Brandon Randolph has yet to score for Arizona. And coming off the bench, they only have 4 points between Ira Lee and Dylan Smith, who both have 2. So 4 points combined. As we see for the comparison in stats, Oregon shooting much better right now to Arizona. Earlier in the game, it was different. It was Arizona who was shooting like the first 5 minutes of the game like 45% compared to like Oregon's 32%. However, in this game, the scripts have flipped throughout. Oregon shooting the ball 39.4% from the field. Arizona shooting the ball 29.6% from the field. From three-point range, Oregon dominating that category as well, as they're shooting 33.3%. Arizona's 18.2% from from the field. And yeah, turnovers have been a problem as well for the Wildcats. They have 9. Oregon is 2. They had 2 late turnovers before the end of the half. The rebounds pretty even. Arizona out-rebounding Oregon 22-18, so nothing pretty crazy in those rebounding numbers so far in this one. Defensive boards, Arizona winning that one 15-13, and they're winning the offensive board 7-5. I think that, yeah, that's basically it. The foul count right now, 7-5. Oregon has 7 fouls. As a team, Arizona has 5, yet we still got another half to play. I should see if anybody's in foul trouble. Yeah, Paul White is 2. I know that he took a seat on the bench before the half. And let's see who's in trouble. Yeah, Brandon Randolph. He's got no points for Arizona. Oh my, yeah. Coming into the game, Randolph was the leading scorer with 16.3 points per game on average and a 35.4% three-point shooter. Yeah, he has 0 points right now. He's got 2 fouls as well. So if Arizona wants to stay in this game and go 10-1 at home, extend their 6-game winning streak to 7, this is a game that they need Brandon Randolph to come back in the second half and make a presence and really play to his best potential here. Not on the other hand, if Oregon wants to flip the script and challenge Arizona and Washington for the conference, what they really need to do is it all starts here. And Lewis King, who had 19 points against USC on Sunday, could make the difference in this one. He had 22 against UCLA. He shot 4 for 9 behind the arc in that game. This freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey, Lewis King, he needs to make an impact in the second half. I just cannot wait for this second half to start. Who knew that Oregon would be in the thick of things? If they beat Arizona without Bol Bol, with all the injuries they've had, definitely Kenny Wooten has played a huge part right now for Oregon. Huge part in the presence of Oregon. He has a block in this game. He has 4 rebounds. He also has an assist. So, yeah, definitely the neck injury by Wooten a couple weeks ago. He missed a couple of games, and now he's back, and this could definitely help out Oregon in the long run since he's now back and healthy. As let's see what else we got going on in college basketball. We'll take a look at the scoreboard in just a second. So, yeah, some top 25 games. Not really much going on as far as the top 25 right now, but 2 notable games to keep track of. Keeping track of the top 25, and this game's almost done as Michigan State's wrapping up against Nebraska. Michigan State's ranked 6th in the nation right now, 15-2 overall, as they're 6-0 in the Big Ten, and looks like Kenny Goins just made a free throw to put the Spartans up 65-55 in that one. And another stellar game for Cassius Winston, dropping 27 against the Cornhuskers as Michigan State's trying to put it away. Looks like on the scoreboard they have 38 seconds left, up 65-55 as Michigan State's trying to challenge now inside the top 5. They're just right outside the top 5 at the top 25. I'll give you that rundown of the AP top 25 as they'll most likely be a new number 1 this week. And I think it will most likely be the Michigan Wolverines. That will be number 1. That's what I can see out of it because they're 17-0. But what I'm looking forward to is what's happening right before the conference tournaments, all the way into the end of Big Ten play, which is basically towards I think it's around February 23rd. or something like that, because Michigan plays Michigan State twice. That's going to be like an insane game. They play them twice, one in Ann Arbor, one in Lansing. It's going to be incredible. I think both of them play. It's very late in February. I think it's like the 23rd. And then I think it's like the first week of March they meet again. And I wouldn't be surprised if both of them meet in the Big Ten finals as well. And that one is, we're still at the half year with Oregon up by 8 against Arizona. So we look at this top 5 of the top 25. The Duke Blue Devils, number 1 right now, have another challenge for them on Saturday, going up against undefeated Virginia, who's 16-0. Duke is going to have to go without Trey Jones, who separated an AC joint in his shoulder, and everybody thought it was like serious against Syracuse as he was out for the game. However, it's reported as not serious. He's actually doubtful for that game against Virginia. Surprisingly, I cannot believe that he's doubtful for that game, as that game against Florida State, that was just incredible as well. The Saturday game where Duke won at the buzzer. Florida State forgot to cover Cam Reddish, who got the ball with 2 seconds left at the right wing, swooshed in the 3. That was just incredible for the Duke Blue Devils, as he hit the game winner against Florida State was Cam Reddish. And as far as Duke's offense, they do an incredible job there as well. They average 90.2 points per game. That's 3rd in college basketball right now. As we look at the other game going on inside with a top 5 team, these are the 2 teams playing in the top 25, Michigan State and Gonzaga. Gonzaga was the only team that beat Duke. Gonzaga is 16-2 right now, playing against Loyola Marymount, up by 14 at the half, 36-22, as it looks like James Bateman for Loyola Marymount's leading the scoring there with 7 points, and Corey Kispert has 9 points with 3 boards and an assist right now for Gonzaga. They were the only team so far coming in besides Syracuse to beat Duke. Syracuse shockingly beating Duke on Monday and keeping their bubble hopes alive. As we look at this top 5, it's Duke against Virginia on Saturday. That game 6 p.m. as Virginia just keeps on rolling, and they've beaten their rival Virginia Tech, who's 9th in the nation. They beat them easily on Tuesday, 81-59. So looking forward to that one. Virginia still undefeated at 16-0, playing against Duke. Duke might not have Trey Jones for that game. We'll see if he's there. Zion, to point out, only had 11 points on Saturday against Florida State. He exited towards the end of the first half with an eye injury. He was trying to drive into the lane with a ball, and then he got scratched with his eye, got stripped of the ball, and fell down on his right shoulder. But the team that's been really quiet right now out of the SEC, I have to say the number 3 team, Tennessee, is in that top 5 tier with Gonzaga. And Tennessee is looking like incredible right now. They're just blowing out teams left and right. I remember, I think it was a couple weeks ago when they played Georgia in their first conference game, they just blew them right out. I think it was like 90-something to 50. It was like a 40-point game. It was crazy how Tennessee just blew them out. And Tennessee right now is dominating. They also have to deal with Kentucky in the SEC as well. Kentucky is right now ranked at 12th. As we look at the top 25 here, before we get back to the Oregon-Arizona game currently at the half, Kansas survived another close one against Texas, as Kansas is the number 7 team. They moved on to 15-2. As before, this game, Michigan State, Nebraska. So Michigan State was up I think it was 66-56, with 38 seconds left. Yeah, we got ourselves a 68-64 game here. So Michigan State's got their 10-point lead cut to 4 right now with 15 seconds left in this one. Michigan State ranked 6th in the nation right now, trying to hold on, led by Cassius Winston. Looks like he has 29 points with 6 assists tonight with 2 rebounds as well. Winston is 6th right now in college basketball in total average per assist per game. He has a 7.4 assist average, and he has 6 right now as they're trying to close out this game against Michigan State. I'll keep an update on this one as Nebraska just fouled Michigan State with 14 seconds left. I'll keep you updated on that one as we'll still look at the top 25 as we're at halftime here with Oregon and Arizona. Oregon up by 8 at the half. As I'll get back to the play-by-play and live reactions of the Ducks Wildcats in a little bit. So we look at this top 25. Virginia Tech lost against undefeated Virginia. They got crushed against them on Tuesday, 81-59. As we'll see what happens there in the rankings. Nevada only has 1 loss on the season. It came at the hands of New Mexico a couple weeks ago. Nevada's 10th. They're 17-1 right now. Florida State is now on a 2-game losing streak as they lost to Duke on Saturday. Cam Reddish sealed the game winner. There's Florida State forgot to cover Reddish, and he hit the shot from the outside. As looks like this one's final. Michigan State beats Nebraska 70-64. And we're almost back at the half of Oregon, Arizona. So we'll get back in a few minutes here as Florida State also lost to Pittsburgh earlier this week as well. Kentucky is 12th right now in the top 25 as Tennessee is 3rd. Both of those teams in the SEC. North Carolina had a huge home loss on Saturday against Louisville. They're now 13-4. They're ranked 13th. Auburn, another SEC team, along with Kentucky and Tennessee, is 13-3. They're 14th. And we're going to take note about the Big East here, with their top team being Marquette, being the biggest mover of the week, going up 6 spots in the top 25. Marcus Howard inside the top 25 for points per game, being the reason why he dropped 53 against Creighton a couple weeks ago, and that Marquette team can score. They won that game 106-104. So you look towards the back of the top 25, the Buffalo Bulls from the MAC, 16-1 on the season. They also gave Arizona their first-round loss last year in the tournament, as Arizona was the 4 seed, Buffalo coming in as the 13 seed and stunned everybody. I know in my bracket, I had like Arizona going to the Final Four, and they lost first round. As we're back here to Arizona, Oregon, as Arizona in the white jerseys with blue and red lettering. Oregon in their dark black jerseys, neon yellow, as Arizona trying to drive into the lane. Ryan Luther stripped of the ball, going the other way for the Ducks, and tried to lay it in was Victor Bailey Jr. Couldn't, gets it off the board as Arizona picks it up past the timeline. This is Justin Coleman now, with it passes it outside to Brandon Randolph. I think it's Randolph. He has 0 points so far, right? Yeah, he's the leading scorer of this Arizona team, averaging 16.3 points per game. He has 0 points, trying to drive inside by Arizona, and no, couldn't get the shot to fall. It was Jeter, but the ball was tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Ducks, and it'll go back to the Wildcats with 19:13 left in the second. So we're back underway as Arizona gets the inbounds. Trying to throw right to the left corner, 3, and it's off the mark, no good, and rebound by Bailey for the Ducks, taking it past the timeline. This is Pritchard. Randolph still scoreless for the Wildcats, down by 8. Oregon passing it around the perimeter. Francis Okoro's in for the Ducks right now, and this is Paul White with the ball, passes to Pritchard. Pritchard trying to go from the outside to the inside, trying to get past a Wildcat defender. Couldn't get it back, but rebounded by Chase Jeter of Arizona, and going the other way past the timeline, Justin Coleman passes it to the left wing and back to Coleman as they're swinging outside. Right corner, 3, and no, off the rim and no good, and Oregon gets it back. Trying to drive inside was Pritchard, and looks like he was in the key, but he's fouled, and Arizona will pick up their first team foul of the game with 18:19 left in the second, as Oregon will inbound it. Pritchard with an inbound pass. Finds Okoro. Okoro trying to drive inside. Lays it off the glass. But looks like he'll be called inside for traveling, so the bucket does not count. Wipe that one away, so it's still 31-23 Oregon with 18-17 left in the second. And they're doing all of this without Bol, one of the top 5 projected to be NBA recruits, the freshman, 7'2" from Olathe, Kansas, Bol, who suffered a foot injury back in December, out for the season, and he provided a big boost for this team as the ball goes out of bounds, last touched, I believe, by Oregon, so Arizona will keep it as they were trying to shoot the ball, and the ball got tapped outside, so yeah, Arizona will inbound it. So here we go, a lot of perimeter passing here for the Wildcats. Now trying to 2 from the elbow, and it's no good, and rebounded by White of the Ducks. Taken past the timeline, that's White who passes it off, and looks like it's Bailey who passes it to Pritchard. Pritchard feeds the ball to Richardson, and this one goes back to White, who is looking for somebody. Deep 3, and it connects for Lewis King from the outside, and the biggest lead for Oregon tonight. 34-23, they're up by 11 with 17-20 left in the second. What a three-pointer from the outside, hit the 23-footer. Arizona now trying to drive outside to inside. This is Jeter. He can't get it to fall. Going the other way, Oregon with numbers. Trying to drive in the lane. No foul called on Lewis King. Tried to go in the lane. He was stripped of the ball. Arizona kicks it back outside. Deep shot from the left elbow. It goes down for the Wildcats. 11-point lead, now a 9-point lead. 34-25. Brandon Randolph finally got his first shot to go for the game. He has 2. Oregon trying to go inside. This is Francis Okoro now in the paint. Okoro kicks it back outside, and the refs call traveling on Okoro. So they turn the ball over with 16:39 left in the second. So Arizona will inbound it as Brandon Randolph takes another seat on the bench, the leading scorer, averaging 16.3 points per game. So now Arizona has it, and now trying to go inside. Left for the inside, and there's a foul as Brandon Williams fed Chase Jeter the ball, and he was fouled trying to slam it down. So he'll go to the line for 2, is Chase Jeter. So if you're just joining us here on Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, we got ourselves a game here out in Tucson, Arizona, between the Oregon Ducks and the Arizona Wildcats. 34-25, Oregon up by 9. But Arizona trying to cut that lead as Chase Jeter with 6 points at the line, and he misses his first at the back of the iron. No good. He's 66.7% shooting from the line. Jeter with his second shot, hits it, and it's 34-26. Got ourselves 16-16 left in the second. Taken past the timeline is Peyton Pritchard. Trying to go he's at the right wing, and he gets the ball to Paul White. Feeds the ball to Ihab Amin, and now back to Pritchard. Pritchard at the top of the key, feeds the ball right wing 3 by Amin, no good, and rebounded by Jeter of Arizona. Arizona now takes it past the timeline. As the ball keeps on going past outside at the left part of the court, and now passing the drive inside. Dylan Smith, he's stripped of the ball in the lane, fight for it, and a Duck has it. Oregon taking it back the other way. They got numbers and trying to drive baseline as Amin was stripped of the ball. But it looks like it will be out by Arizona. So when we get back, Oregon's still in control of their lead. We got a timeout on the floor, and we'll be back in a couple of seconds to this game as we got our score now is Oregon up 34-26. 15:33 left in the second. So yeah, we have a TV timeout right now as Oregon's still in control of that lead. Their biggest lead they took in this game was, I believe, the very, very start of the second half. They gutted out to an 11-point lead for Oregon. However, Arizona's climbed back. Chase Jeter hit a free throw a couple minutes ago. He hit 1 of 2 from the line to pull back within a few. We see, it looks like the leading scorer is still Victor Bailey Jr. for the Ducks with 10 points. Lewis King has 7 now. He hit that big 3 a couple minutes ago, way, way deep from the outside. Paul White has 2. And that leading scorer for Arizona hasn't really done much. Brandon Randolph only has 2 points, and he averages over 16 points per game. I believe he's also on the bench right now, too. So we look at the foul count. Yeah, Brandon Randolph has 2 fouls on him right now. I think the last time I saw him in the game, because I know he hit his shot, I think they subbed out for him. So I wonder if they'll put him back in when we get back here from the timeout. Shooting percentage. Oh, yeah, we should go over this 3-point shooting percentage. Oregon just dominating Arizona. Arizona shooting a woeful 2 for 14. That's a 14.3% from the 3-point range. And Oregon is 5 for 14 right now from 3. That's good for 35.7% from the 3-point line in this game so far. As we're still at the TV timeout here, field goal percentage, shooting the shots here, as Oregon's been delivering much better than Arizona, as Oregon's shooting 36.8% from the field. Arizona's 26.5%. Arizona, however, winning the rebound match 28-22. Defensive boards, Arizona's up 20-17, and the offensive boards, Arizona's up 9-5. As far as team assists, Oregon has 6, Arizona has 3, and Oregon can also add 6 steals to that department. Arizona only has 1. And the turnovers for Arizona, yeah, that's been a problem. They have 11. Oregon has 4, as Oregon's turned the ball over twice in the second half, as looks like we're back to Tucson here at the McKale Center, and Oregon will have the ball now on the inbound. As we're back to action, this is Amin who leaves the ball out to the outside for Paul White with 10 on the shot clock to Richardson now. Richardson at the top of the key passes it to the left wing and trying to drive baseline is Paul White. Kicks it back outside to Richardson. Richardson, deep shot from the left elbow, no good. Rims out from the top of the backboard, and it'll go the other way for the Wildcats. Jeter has it in the low post. Jeter trying to spin in there, and short of the rim as the ball is tied up for. And the possession arrow will go back to Oregon, as Ira Lee was tied up for it with Ihab Amin, and the ball and the possession arrow will go back to the Ducks. Amin, take note of this, has 3 steals in this game with 3 points. As turnovers, yeah, definitely been a problem. We got ourselves another score as Peyton Pritchard with the assist, fed that one down low, and it goes off the backboard and in for the Ducks. 36-26, Oregon up by 10. Arizona with it, passing it around the perimeter, now at the right of the perimeter at the right wing. This is Justin Coleman now back in the game, trying to drive, feeds it inside off the glass. No, couldn't go in too strong. Rebound by Oregon. It was Paul White who ripped the ball away. Now Pritchard trying to drive, kicks the ball outside. Lots of passing here around the perimeter for the Ducks. Amin tried to take in the key but couldn't, and hands it off to Pritchard. 15 on the shot clock with 14 minutes left in the second. Pritchard slowing down the tempo. Oregon up 36-26. Kicks the ball outside. Pritchard with another assist. Paul White. Great stroke from the outside at the right corner in Oregon with their largest lead of the night, up by 13. 13:40 left in the second, as Arizona cannot be pleased as Peyton Pritchard on the last two possessions for the Ducks with 2 assists, as the last one feeds the ball to the outside to the right corner, and Paul White, getting his 10th point of the game, delivers. So Oregon up now 39-26 as Arizona called a short timeout, and they're back now to action. As this is Dylan Smith now for the ball going fought for as Oregon tried to steal with it, as there's an avalanche of bodies on the court, and looks like we got ourselves a foul, which will be charged by Pritchard trying to get that ball that went into the backcourt. And if Oregon had come away with that, it would have been 2 easy points, as Peyton Pritchard was fighting for that loose ball in the court. And then Richardson wasn't, and Pritchard came back for it again, and that's where the third time around he was charged with a foul. So Oregon picks up their first team foul of the half, charged by Peyton Pritchard. Arizona has 2. Arizona gets the inbound. 13:14 left in the second. So now they're trying to go inside, and in the lane, too strong off the baskets. Miles Norris, offensive board, though, by Ira Lee. Actually, no, that was Brandon Randolph of Arizona. Try to go too strong off the backboard, and looks like Oregon with their second foul. And looks like it's Pritchard again with 2 team fouls by Arizona, 3 by Oregon. Right now, Pritchard picks up another 2 fouls in the span of not even 30 seconds. So Arizona now has the ball, feeds it back outside. Lots of perimeter passing now. Right wing and trying to drive. Brandon Randolph kicks it back outside. Coleman now at the left wing. Throws it to the left corner 3, and oh man, airballed right there. Not even close. I think that shot right there, I think they knew it from the beginning, as Oregon has control of the ball right now. This is Amin with it. Throws it back to Richardson. And Richardson with it at the top of the key. Richardson leaves it to the left wing to Amin, who throws it back. This is the right wing for Paul White, and he's short off the rim. No good. Easy look at a 3, and Arizona cannot convert from the left wing, and Oregon comes up with a rebound. That's Wooten who gets away with that one. So Oregon takes it past the timeline. They're up 39-26 with 12 minutes left in the second. This will be a huge win if Oregon can close out these last 11 minutes and 52 seconds. Wooten has 5 rebounds on the night. As Oregon passes it around the outside perimeter, and they're now at the right wing, as double guarded is Richardson, and the ball gets stolen away. Turnover by the Ducks. Arizona has it with numbers in transition. 3-on-2, trying to put away, and they get the basket. Ira Lee inside, and they get it on the 3-on-2. So Oregon's lead cut from 13 to 11, still up 39-28. Amin has the ball now as we look at the second half shooting. 3 for 9 for Oregon, 2 for 11 by Arizona. Timeout called by Dana Altman to talk things over. We have a game here in Arizona, trying to climb back in Tucson on behind the arc basketball for the Wildcats. Oregon up now, 39-28. So let's see, I'm just going to check the... Okay, so we got 11 minutes, 19 seconds left in this one. In the second right now as we're on this timeout. So Oregon's up by 11. As we take a look at some of these stats, the team stats, with Oregon shooting 38.1% from the field right now compared to Arizona only making a fourth of their shots as they're 10 for 40, good for 25% from the field as they just cannot convert on the three-pointers either. Arizona is shooting 2 for 16, Oregon 6 for 15. Oregon from the three-point percentage, that's 40% from behind the arc. Arizona, another woeful percent on the day, 12.5 today. As I wonder what happened to that offense when they played the offense everybody was talking about when they crushed California and put up, what was it? I think it was like 87 points on them. Yeah, they beat California 87-65, and now we're almost halfway through the second half. They only have 28 points in this game tonight. That's not good. As we look at the other numbers, rebounds, Arizona out-rebounding Oregon right now 36-21. And as we look at the scoreboard to see how all these games are playing out, Michigan State won by 6 against Nebraska, so the number 6 Spartans keep on rolling. I think Cassius Winston in that one had 29 points as Michigan State pulled off that one in Big Ten play, 70-64. As we look at the West Coast Conference, the number 5 team in the nation, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, up big against Loyola Marymount right now, 57-28. This is a Loyola Marymount team in the first ever net rankings. When they came out with those net rankings back in late November, they were ranked inside the top 15 of the net rankings as Loyola Marymount started the season out 7-0. I know like 3 of those wins were against like non-Division I schools. I think they were all like D3. Yeah, weird how they formed those net rankings. I remember the first net ranking, they put Ohio State as number 1 in that one. And yeah, Ohio State, I just got to check. I don't even, yeah, Ohio State just, like this week, they got knocked out of the top 25. I remember a few weeks ago, they were 16 in the top 25. But yeah, they just got knocked out. As we're back to action here, and that pass looks like it went out of bounds. As we got 11:18 left in the second. Oregon's up by 11, 39-28. On the season for these away games, Oregon is 1-2 overall this season. Arizona's 9-0 at home, so this is a shocker. I had no clue that Oregon would be up like this as they're looking for their 10th straight win at home. This one at the McKale Center in Tucson. So Oregon's trying to make it their 7th straight victory. But yeah, this Pac-12 Conference, this is up for grabs entirely by any team. 0 teams in the top 25. Only 2 teams right now projected into the bracket. That's Arizona as an 11 seed, according to ESPN's latest bracketology report. Washington as a 10 seed, both of those teams. Arizona 13-4 overall, as I give you the Pac-12 rundown. Washington's 12-4. So we look at the upcoming games for both teams. Oregon plays host to a team on the bubble right now, Arizona State, who they beat the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas only 1 of 2 losses on the season, as Kansas is number 7 right now in the nation. As Arizona State beat the 15-2 Jayhawks earlier in the season. What a statement win. But then the next game, they follow it up with a 1-point loss against the Ivy League Princeton Tigers, which is resulted as a bad loss. And you cannot have that as far as Pac-12 play goes, as huge losses and upsets have been a problem for the Ducks as well. As look at this game against Texas Southern earlier in the season, playing against what is now the Texas Southern team, which is 7-9 in the SWAC, and Oregon lost to them at home 89-84, and that was with Ball on the team as well. Went down as like one of the worst losses ever in the history of Oregon basketball. And also closing out games, we were up at this point last week UCLA, Oregon. Oregon was up by 9 with 1:01 left, and they couldn't close out that game, and it went into overtime, and UCLA beat Oregon that game. So we'll see again. Oregon's up by 11 here. Biggest lead of the night was 13. We'll see if they can close out this game as well to Arizona. As we're back to action, Pritchard gets the inbound as now it's Victor Bailey Jr. with it, left wing and driving to the left corner, trying to drive baseline, and looks like he stepped on the baseline, turned it over. So Oregon just not closing out close games. They lost to what is now the number 21 Houston Cougars by 4. And they also could not beat their rival in the first conference game against them, the Oregon State Beavers, as they're on the top of the Pac-12, surprisingly. As well, they lost that game 77-72. Arizona now with the ball. Jeter trying to go in the low post. Jeter tries to get the ball, and he does as he floats it over the top, and it goes in. So Arizona cutting into this Oregon lead. It's 39-30 now. Jeter is 9 points with 8 boards so far in this game. Oregon with the ball now at the right wing. This is Lewis King. He needs to make an impact as he averages 19.3 points per game in the last 3 games when Pac-12 Conference play started. As looks like we got a foul called by Arizona inside, and it'll be the 3rd team foul of the half by the Wildcats. So we look at the last play. Chase Jeter inside the key, and he dropped the ball down in the net right there as he was guarded by a defender, tried to back it in, and he did. 64% shooting. That's 3rd for the Pac-12 for Jeter's. Arizona gets the steal. Going in transition the other way, but they call an offensive foul on the play as the ball was trying to go driving inside the key for the Wildcats, and then they kicked it back outside as this was Ryan Luther who tried to drive inside as he kicked it back. At the same time, the Paul White. Luther charged with the offensive foul for the Wildcats there as White, in beautiful transition, took the charge. Oregon up by 9, 10-10 left. Arizona has 12 turnovers. Oregon has 7. Oregon at the top of the key with Lewis King. 15 on the shot clock. King now dribbling to his right. King now throws the ball inside. This is Wooten who gets it to fall. Is Kenny Wooten off the board, and Oregon extends their lead to 11. Past the timeline now for Zona, moving the ball quickly. Jeter throws it to the right wing. 3 in the student section, and the crowd goes wild to get the Wildcats back in the game. The reball goes down. 41-33. Arizona's just got themselves back in it. 9:26 left. Oregon with the ball at the left wing. This is Peyton Pritchard. Pritchard feeds the ball off at the elbow now. Left elbow trying to drive inside is White. He gets the shot to fall. Is Paul White for the Ducks. White has 12, shooting 5 for 8 today. Arizona with it, passing it around the perimeter. Alex Barcelo off the bench now in the game for the Wildcats. Now trying to drive inside, drives past a group of defenders. It's Brandon Williams. He gets the shot to fall off the glass. He has 8 tonight, averages 11.5 points per game. Good for 3rd on the team for the Wildcats. As Oregon has it, the pace is picking up, trying to spin inside. And the shot could not fall by Oregon. That was Victor Bailey Jr. It's rebounded, taken up the other way, trying to go inside, and looks like we got ourselves a foul on the play. Peyton Pritchard picks up the foul right there. Let's see. Looks like it was it Dylan Smith of Arizona who tried to drive inside there. We'll see in a second if they go to the line. The score now to update you on this is 43-35, 8:26 remaining. And Peyton Pritchard, the point guard, leading the team in assists for Oregon, is in foul trouble with 4. So looks like it was Brandon Williams who tried to drive inside. So Williams to the line. He's got 8 points. Hits the first for Brandon Williams. 8:30 left, and it's 43-36. Arizona's climbing back in this. As we talk about blown leads by the Ducks, they were up by 13 at one point in this game. Blew a 9-point lead with 1:01 left against UCLA. Lost that one in overtime. Here's the second shot from the line by Williams. It swoosh. It goes down. 43-37. 6-point game as the Wildcats are climbing back in it. And they're on an 11-4 run in the last 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Oregon has it. Now at the right wing, this is Will Richardson, who slips. As looks like it's Jeter who will be charged for the foul for the Wildcats. So Richardson just trying to drive here. Looks like he tripped, but Jeter cannot believe that the refs called that on him. I thought it was unintentional. So Oregon gets the inbound. And at the free throw line, that was Kenny Wooten, who, there we go, with a basket is Paul White. In a beautiful play design right here. Kenny Wooten off. Actually, that was Ihab Amin who hit it home off the Wooten pass, and Paul White with a screen set up for the Ducks to make that possible. With 8 minutes and 8 seconds left in the game, Oregon is up 45-37. The shot from the line off mark and rebounded by the Wildcats. Taking it past up the timeline, Justin Coleman. Now they're passing it outside is Coleman and Randolph. Now trying to drive inside. Randolph, and he is rejected. But Arizona gets it with the offensive board, and if they needed a spark, they got it. Ira Lee with a slam dunk. For Zona, the crowd goes wild with 7:51 left in the second. The blocked shot off the backboard, but the offensive possession off the rebound was controlled by Arizona. Right here, as we see, Brandon Randolph couldn't get it to go, is blocked. Justin Coleman feeds the ball inside to Ira Lee, coming off the bench and slamming it down to juvenate the fans here at the McKale Center in Tucson. And what a game we have for the end of this one. Arizona's climbed back in. 7:49 left in the second. Oregon up 45. Arizona 39. You want to stay tuned for this game. It's not done yet. This is going to be great. You're listening to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Yeah, this is just setting up to be an exciting finish. And Arizona, oh, wow. So their shooting percentage has gone up. So they were shooting in the 20s before. Now they're shooting 31.1% from the field. So their shooting percentage has gone up. Oregon shooting right now 41.3% from the field. As we look at the free throw line, and Arizona being a good team from the line shooting the ball, we can tell that from tonight, as they made 80% of their shots from the line, 8 for 10. Oregon's only been to the line 3 times. They're 1 for 3, shooting 33%. As we look at these key players and points right now for both squads, wow, Paul White leading the team for the Ducks today in points with 12. So far, over his average of 10.4 points per game. Look at bench points here, 12 points off the bench for the Ducks. Arizona, Brandon Williams has 10. He's the leading scorer. And Brandon Randolph, the team leading scorer on average, averages 16.3 points per game. He's only been held to 2 points today. He also has 2 fouls charged by him, as we see Chase Jeter, the center, trying to get over the 10-point mark here. He's at 9 points so far in this game, as we're almost back to action. Here's that last play, was the slam dunk thrown down by Ira Lee that just rejuvenated this crowd in this student section here at Tucson with a whole new life and brought the Wildcats back into this game. As what was we were talking about earlier, Justin Coleman needed only 5 points to hit 1,000, as the free throw is good by Ira Lee. I'm going to see if Coleman got to that. Coleman get his 5 points? No, he has 3. So he just needs 2 more points to get 1,000 career points for Arizona. It will be Justin Coleman's. Oregon gets the inbounds pass here, and looks like it's a foul picked up by Arizona. Arizona has 6 fouls so far with 7:41 left in the second, as Richardson of the Ducks passed that ball inside at the elbow to Paul White. And since Arizona now, okay, so that's the 7th foul as a team. So since they just picked up their 7th, they're in the bonus. So here's the free throw, and they miss, as the shot's missed by White, and it's rebounded by Arizona. Ira Lee in foul trouble with 7 points, has 3 fouls, as we got ourselves 7:30 left in this one. Oregon up by 5. They were up by 13 earlier. Here's the Ducks at the Wildcats now with the ball. With it, it's Justin Coleman. Passes it off, and now it is Brandon Randolph who tries to lob it over the top to Jeter. Jeter gets fouled on the play, and they'll go to the line. So Arizona is cutting into this Ducks lead, and these fans are loving it here in Tucson. The 9-1 Wildcats trying to get back in this game, and they're clawing their way back in it, and they've done so. Chase Jeter looking for his 10th. Needs 1 more rebound and 1 more point to be a double-double. And he's got himself his 10th point, as it's a 4-point game. Peyton Pritchard now with 4 fouls for the Ducks is back in the game, as looks like Amin will take a seat on the bench. Jeter just hit his first one. Arizona from the line, 9 for 11, hitting almost everything. Second one by Jeter off the mark, no good. Jeter just needs an additional rebound to have himself a double-double in this game. As it goes into the hands of Peyton Pritchard, now at the left wing is Victor Bailey Jr., and here is King, Lewis King, trying to drive inside of this big run by Arizona, and tried to drive inside was King, but it was last touched by the Wildcats out of bounds with 6:55 left, so Oregon will get the ball back. They'll inbound it with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. As it's Pritchard trying to go inside the backdoor cut, and it goes as it connects off the backboard, and it's good. Oregon with a 47-41 lead past the timeline for Arizona. So now at the right wing, this is Brandon Williams, kicks it back outside, left corner 3-0, it rings out, no good. Pritchard with a rebound, trying to take it up the court here for Oregon. Does shot from the elbow deep, no good, cannot get it. Jeter rebounds it for the Wildcats. Going up the other way for Arizona, and now the stop and start going inside past the defender, feeds it in to the paint and gets it home off the glass, and it's a 4-point lead for the Ducks, as Chase Jeter now has a double-double with a rebound, and he hit the glass right there as he gets it off the backboard. 12 points, 10 boards for Chase Jeter, 47-43. Trying to go inside is Pritchard in the key now for the Ducks. Kicks it back outside. This is Bailey with it top of the key for Pritchard. Trying to drive inside between the fenders, and looks like he's fouled. So Peyton Pritchard will go to the line with 5:49 left in the second. Oregon holding on to a 47-43 lead here in Tucson at the McKale Center. Peyton Pritchard. He's 89.8% from the free throw line. In foul trouble as well with four fouls right now. First shot is good. Oregon with 6 team fouls. Arizona with 8. So Pritchard connected on his first. And here's the second shot from the line by Peyton Pritchard, and he's nothing but net for both of them. 2 for 2, and Oregon extends the lead to 49-43 with 5:49 left in the second. The inbounds pass goes to Brandon Williams. Feeds the ball past the timeline. Left side of the timeline is Justin Coleman. Now has the ball dribbling on his right and passed around the perimeter to the left. This is Ryan Luther. So now at the left wing with it is Brandon Williams and kicks it. A lot of kicks back outside, trying to go inside. Couldn't get it rejected, but looks like an offensive foul called as Arizona will turn it over. Trying to go in the lane there was number 10, Ryan Luther, and Okoro of the Ducks just got in the way right there, took the charge, and the ball will go back to Oregon with 5:25 left in the second. Ryan Luther has 3 fouls as well. He only has 4 points in this game. So Oregon will inbound it. 5:20 left as the ball goes past the timeline for Pritchard. This is White now. Feeds it to King. King in the key trying to do the jumper. Couldn't get it to go. Fight for the ball and rebounded by King himself. And they get a new set of life here for the Ducks. 49-43 with 25 on the shot clock in the left corner. This is Pritchard. Now Pritchard takes it out. Trying to set up the offense. He's at the Arizona logo on his side of the court. Looking at Dana Altman for the play call. 4:46 left. 10 on the shot clock. Pritchard dribbling. Pritchard at the right wing. Feeds it. Try to feed it baseline to the left corner to Amin, but it got tipped out of bounds by Luther of Arizona. So Oregon will have a chance to inbound it. So if you're just joining us in this game, got a pretty good game. Low scoring, however. So the shots haven't been falling for both teams. Oregon up 49-43. New set of life for the Ducks here after the shot was tipped out of bounds, as it's Peyton Pritchard at the top of the key dribbling. 4:31 left in the game. Lewis King, who feeds the ball out to Bailey Jr. Bailey now trying to take it inside. Bailey with a left hand off the glass. Too strong. Put back goes home. It's Paul White with the offensive board there when you need it for the Ducks, and they're up by 8. 16 points on the night for Paul White, a team high right now for Oregon. The timeout is called by Sean Miller on the floor with 4:13 left here. Oregon up by 8. We'll see how this last 4:13 in the game plays out here in Tucson. So yeah, both of these teams have been like stone cold shooting wise, as I'll give you the updates of this game. As we're on a timeout right now, Oregon shooting 40.4% right now from the field. Arizona's 31.9% from the field. As we look at the three-point shooting, Arizona is shooting 16.7, not good today from the field, 16.7%. They're shooting a 3 for 18 from the field. Oregon doing much better. It's what the reason why they're up that in turnovers, the key, as the rebounds have basically the rebounding game's gone to Arizona today, out rebounding Oregon 36-31. as Oregon is shooting from behind the arc 40% compared to Arizona's 16.7. As you're listening to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube here, as we got 4 minutes 13 seconds left in this one between the Oregon Ducks and the Arizona Wildcats, and what a game we have here going on out in Tucson. We look at these team leaders for tonight for both squads. We see that Paul White is leading Oregon right now with 16 points. And he's doing it from behind the arc as well, shooting 2 for 3 from behind the arc. He also has 5 rebounds as well. Lewis King only has 7 points tonight, but he's followed that up with 8 rebounds, 10 points by Victor Bailey Jr. in this one. So it looks like we're back here in Tucson. If you're just joining us, it's 51-43. So Oregon's got the 8-point lead. Arizona's on a 6-game winning streak, where they're 9-1 at home. Oregon's had trouble closing out games, as we could see a week ago against UCLA. They could not finish as they were up by 9 with 1:01 left. And the inbounds pass right there, and the foul called, I believe, as we'll see. So we've got 4 minutes, 6 seconds left in this one. So the refs are sorting it out. Yes, there looks to be a foul called by Oregon, so Arizona will go to the free throw line here. And it's Justin Coleman will go to the line. And he's off, misses it off the front rim. Rebound by Oregon. It's in the hands of Peyton Pritchard, who takes it past the timeline. Pritchard feeds the ball off to the left wing, going for the alley-oop, and it's intercepted by Chase Jeter. Going the other way, burst the speed for Arizona, and then they slow it down in the hands at the right wing of Brandon Randolph. Randolph trying to feed it inside of Jeter, and it looks like there's a foul called on the play, as Chase Jeter will go to the line now for the Wildcats. And Kenny Wooten picks up the foul, trying to guard Jeter inside on the pass in the key. As we look at that stat provided on the screen, Brandon Randolph has 16.3 points he averages per game. He only has 2 tonight. Oregon doing a stellar job guarding him, as the shot from the line by Jeter is off the top of the rim. No good. Oregon with a rebound. Pritchard takes it past the timeline. Jeter only has 12 points today. He averages 13.4 per game. So now trying to drive with his Bailey and hands it back to Pritchard. 3:22 left with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Pritchard with it at the top of the key now, trying to dribble inside. Pritchard fakes out the defender, trying to go off the glass. No good. Looks like there's a foul called by Arizona, though, on the play. And it's Chase Jeter who will pick up the foul for the Wildcats. As, yeah, it looks like he just shoved an Oregon player out of bounds as he tried to rebound the ball. So send Oregon to the line once again. It's Lewis King, who's 80% on the season from the line. King for the first one. The big loop on the shot, and it goes down. 9-point lead by the Ducks, 52-43. Eight points tonight by Lewis King. He hit his first from the line. Here's the second one by King, and it just rattled out. Almost got it in, but didn't. So a rebound by the Wildcats, and they take it up past the timeline, and they're part of the floors. Brandon Williams, and they're moving the ball around. So now they got at the free throw line and kicks it back outside to Williams. Williams trying to drive inside, feeds it up in the slam. Ira Lee with his second slam dunk of the game, and the fans are loving it. We got 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in this one. Don't go away just yet as Arizona's crawling back into this defensive affair tonight. Oregon now with it. At the right wing, this is Paul White from behind the arc, and he takes it, passes it out to the top of the key with Victor Bailey Jr. now dribbling to the left wing, feeds it out to Pritchard to the right wing. Pritchard step back in the inside 2-0 and almost went down, and it rolled around the rim but rattled out. Arizona gets the rebound. Now at the left corner, now trying to dribble, and a lot of passing outside in the perimeter. As this is Brandon Randolph, step back three. Randolph is good from three. 52-48 as a timeout is called on the floor. Arizona just will not go away in this one with 2:07 left in the second. Brandon Randolph hits the three ball from behind the arc, the step back three. And what a game we have in store for the last 2:07 left in this one on Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Don't change the channel. This is going to be a great finish. What a shot by Randolph. Arizona's three-point shooting percent just keeps on creeping up now. As when we started the half, they were in the 20s. Now they're shooting 34.7. Oregon's 38.9, shooting the ball from the floor tonight. And finally, the three-pointers are going down. Now we're back in action with 2:06 left, and Oregon will get the inbound. Going past the timelines, Pritchard. Pritchard hands it off to Bailey, and now hands it off to King. Back to Pritchard. Now to Lewis King. And back to Pritchard at the top of the key, now trying to drive inside and kicks it back outside. There it is for the three ball at the top of the key is Victor Bailey Jr. 7-point game as the Ducks hit that one. Bailey's 3 for 5 behind the arc. 13 points tonight, 55-48. Oregon up by 7. Arizona now trying to drive baseline, kicks it back outside, deep three. Oh, he hit it! Unbelievable three-pointer from the outside by Arizona. Wow, what a shot as Arizona's now 5 for 20 from behind the arc as they've hit a couple of clutch three-pointers in the past few minutes in this one. Nothing bigger than that. I believe that was Dylan Smith who hit that. Oregon trying to drive inside with Pritchard. Couldn't get it to fall. Pritchard got the offensive board, though, with 52 seconds left, up by 4. Pritchard now with 22 on the shot clock, just dribbling and slowing down the tempo. If you're just joining us, huge three by Arizona to pull one and 4. Oregon with the ball, 36 seconds left, 8 on the shot clock in the hands of Victor Bailey Jr. Back to Pritchard, deep three, and he airballs it as that was a top of the key three from like 28 feet out, way behind the three-point line. And again comes the problem of Oregon trying to close out games. And we got ourselves a 4-point game with 28.1 seconds left. We'll see if this Pac-12 contest will be the same reflection as the one a week ago against UCLA. As it's in the hands past the timeline, this is Justin Coleman now into the hands of Brandon Williams, 18, and off the mark, no good, and rebounded by Oregon with the defensive boards. And they get fouled with 16.5 seconds left. So the three-point shot cannot hit its mark for the Wildcats. And Oregon will go to the line. 16.5 seconds left. Oregon up by 4. Here they are at the free throw line. Let's see if they can close out this one or if this game will be the same compared to the one against UCLA last Thursday. Lewis King, 80% from the line, shooting, and he hits his first. 56-51, Oregon up by 5. Checking in for the game is Dylan Smith now back into action for the Wildcats. Here's the second one by King. Lewis King with a high arc, and he hits it. 57-51 leads Sean Miller to call a timeout. Discuss things over here. 16.5 seconds remaining in this one. Oregon up by 6, trying to close this one out in Tucson. It would be a big road victory and a huge turning point for the Ducks if they do close this game out. They would move to 11-6 overall, 2-2 in Pac-12 play. Arizona, it would snap their 6-game winning streak, and also it would put them at 9-2 on the season at home. Arizona's 13-4 overall, 4-0 in the Pac-12. So this could be the first Pac-12 win for Oregon against Arizona this season. We'll see what happens. 16.5 seconds remaining. As this stat came up, the Wildcats, Arizona, when they have that 91-4 record at home that goes all the way back to 2013, trying to drive inside, is the Wildcats, and it's stolen away by Oregon. Stolen away by Arizona, though. 3-ball goes down. Wow, Dylan Smith from behind the arc. Oregon stole it for a second. Arizona stole it back, and a timeout has been called. That's the last timeout by Sean Miller of Arizona with 4.2 seconds left. Clutch 3 there by Dylan Smith from behind the arc. And it's a 3-point game. Oregon up 57-54. 4.2 left. As a timeout has been called, and wow, we got ourselves a finish here. Take a look back at this game against UCLA that they were up by 15 and they blew it at home last week. The missed free throw by Hands, and then Chris Smith at the buzzer with an offensive board. Put it back home for UCLA to force the game into overtime. I don't even know why Oregon fouled right there. They shouldn't have. And then Chris Smith, he was fouled on the shot last week for UCLA, and he had a chance to put away the game at the line, and he missed it, which sent it into overtime. And then UCLA came up and won it in overtime. Lewis King missed the corner 3 from the outside, which would have tied the game. Okay, 4.2 seconds left. Oregon's inbounding. They get the ball off to Pritchard, and he is fouled with 2.8 seconds left. So Oregon will go to the line, up by 3 with 2.8 seconds left. Arizona trying to climb back in this game, but the very slim of margins right here is now they only have 2.8 seconds left, no timeouts to come up with a play call. Pritchard trying to ice it right here. 90% from the line, and he hits it. So it's a 2-score game now, 58-54. As Dana Altman calls his last timeout for the Ducks. Dana Altman trying to move to 221 wins and 89 losses in his 9th season at Oregon. He's had 5 tournament appearances in the NCAA tournament, 1 Final Four back in 2017 with Dylan Brooks, 2 Pac-12 tournament finals, and 2 Pac-12 regular season titles. So we look at the upcoming games for both of the teams, crucial games for both sides, as Oregon plays Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, their next game against Arizona State, who's currently on the bubble. Arizona State had a huge non-conference win against number 7 ranked Kansas in the early part of their schedule, followed up by the next game they played in that non-conference schedule. They lost by 1 to Ivy League Yale. They're currently on the bubble. Oregon trying to put themselves back into bubble contention with a couple more quality wins. Kind of hard to come by, though, in Pac-12 play, as there's no ranked teams inside the Pac-12, but this would be a good start. Arizona undefeated in the Pac-12 at 13-4. So here's Pritchard as he'll shoot his second one from the line with 2.8 seconds left. Hits it! 59-54, 5-point game. Arizona just launches the three, and it goes off the backboard, and a victory for Dana Altman in the Oregon Ducks here in Tucson, as the 6-game winning streak is snapped. Arizona will fall to 13-5 on the season, 4-1 in Pac-12 play, as they are stunned in Tucson by the Oregon Ducks, which move to 11-6 overall, 2-2 as they get even with 500 in Pac-12 play. As they got their next game, Arizona State, and that test on Saturday. As we look to Arizona, they got Oregon's rival, Oregon State, on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time as well. Oregon State has moved up to the number 1 spot in the Pac-12, 11-4, 3-0 overall in the Pac-12, and they're led by Kyler Kelly, who leads the NCAA right now in blocks per game with an average of 4.2. But that's basically it for today. This game has gone final here in Tucson. Oregon winning 59-54 here at the McKale Center. Huge upset for the Ducks, and it could be a transition in the correct way. As I'm loading in the score here. Stay tuned for the next stream. Looking for more. Definitely looking to be back next week streaming. Got a couple games in mind I'm definitely looking out for. So definitely stay tuned for that, as this game has gone final. The Oregon Ducks 59, the Arizona Wildcats 54. Signing off, you've been listening to Oregon Arizona basketball on the first premiere of Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube.